7 Days to Die has been around for such a long time. I've basically grown up with the game. And in this video today, I'm gonna go through basically all my photos since I owned 7 Days to Die on Steam to see how far it's come, and just to kind of explain basically, you know, what I did in the photos, what's actually going on, what alpha it is. And I've got so many Steam photos of 7 Days to Die when I first started, and I really wanted to make like a montage of these photos, but it didn't really fit too well. So you know what, let's go through them and talk about them with you guys and see how that goes. 7 Days to Die has been around for, wow, I think 8 to 9 years now. And guys, I know a lot of people are gonna say like, wow, early access for so long and blah 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 and blah blah that. Let me get this out of the way. I am extremely happy with 7 Days to Die. I like the changes that happen. I like the new alphas we get. It's basically a live service that we don't pay for. You get new updates pretty much every couple of months, and the developers of the game stick with us since the beginning. Okay, they haven't abandoned us, and I'm pretty sure they don't make loads amount of money right now on this game because pretty much everybody owns it. Well, a lot of people own it, but just say that. So I don't think they are making large amounts of money off this game right now. You know, it's already been announced, it's already been this and that, but I think every alpha that they release, it does help them a lot. And yeah, so FunPimps, if you're watching this, just know that people like me, and I'm hoping there's others out there, we really appreciate what you've done, man. Well, guys, it's been such a big part of my life. It's changed a lot of my things. I've actually turned it into a job now. I get paid to do videos in a game I really enjoy. And I know the console guys are going to be like, oh, we still got the old alphas. You know, just have some faith. I've had faith in the FunPimps forever, and then they have come through. So just try and have some faith in them. Just give them some time. You know, you can keep asking them if that's what you want to do. I don't think they don't mind that, so just keep doing it. I don't know. But, you know, don't be hard on them. Just take it easy. And I'm pretty sure one day you will get something you will be happy with. So let's get straight to it. Let's go through these photos. They're really old, so just bear with me. Okay, so the first one was this was my very first picture I took with 7 Days to Die. Okay, this is my friend Soapy Squirrel. I don't know why it's not full camera. So this is my friend Soapy Squirrel. Okay, so this I think was Alpha 5 or 6. I can't remember, but this was the alpha that they first initially brought out the armor appearances on your character. So you can get armor and you can put it on, because previously in the really early alphas you would get armor and it wouldn't show on your character for other players. So this was the first alpha that they brought out, which will display, and obviously you can see it's glitched out. And I remember this alpha was terrible, but yeah, so he was wearing a bunch of outfits and they weren't really matching too well. And I just noticed now he's wearing a FunPimp hat. I wonder why they took that out of the game. FunPimps, I think it's time to re-add that, because that's pretty cool. We should make it like a rare item. But yeah, I think this is Alpha 6, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, here's another picture here. It was so glitchy. You can also see the tool bolt and the hunger and thirst was all different as well. But this is actually, yeah, Alpha 6 or so. I've played 7 Days to Die since Alpha 1. It's just that I only got it on Steam much later on. So that's why I've only actually got this, and the hours I've got are only up to Alpha 6. So that's why, you know, it does go back a lot more than this, though. Yeah, here is the working stiff tool shop, and this place has changed so much. I still remember the day that they added this thing. I was like, yes, this is such a cool looking POI, it's so nice. And then, yeah, everything is... Oh, I remember this alpha. It's actually one of my favorites. I do believe this is like 6... Wait, no, it tells you there. I'm so wrong. It's like, I think 11. I can't really see that. This is Alpha 11. Jeez. Actually, yeah, I missed that one. It was quite cool. There was no view distance, so you couldn't see in the view. You couldn't see in the distance or anything like that. So that was, yeah, it was interesting. See, the trolleys are still in the game. Ah. And this was something I really wanted to show you guys. If you guys didn't know, in Alpha 11.4, it seems, there were actually cave systems in 7 Days to Die. I don't know why they took this out, because I actually really enjoyed these cave systems. And basically what the cave system will do, when you generate a world, it'll generate caves like that look just like this. And they will have these weird cave things on them, and it was pretty cool to go down there. In fact, if I remember correctly, it was the only place to get mushrooms. Yeah, I think that was the case. But there was a whole lot of random caves, and I really wish they would bring this back, because it was so cool to find like this tunneling cave that would go down into the water and then come back out again. I'm not too sure why they removed them. Maybe stability issues. I'm not too sure why, but I do remember those very well. Here's a very nice shot of the mist in this game. It was very intense back then. This is 11.4, Alpha 11.4. And yeah, the crossbow was my main thing in 11.4. I love the crossbow. I always used to use it. And funny enough, I could aim a little bit better back then. So as you guys see in my streams, I suck at aiming now. So I don't know what happened, okay? But yeah, there's this basically a mist in the forest. So, you know, as they went down, they fixed a lot of the issues. And this was basically one of the armor sets. I think this was the leather set that they brought into the game. And yeah, they actually fixed that issue where it wasn't showing properly. It only took them, it didn't take them very long to fix that issue. So that was great, I remember that. But yeah, it was Soapy Squirrel again. This is actually Bronson J on Discord, if you recognize him. And there's the boxes, and yeah, it looks old, okay? It looks old. Okay, so this was actually, I remember now, this was actually like one of my first castle builds that I made in 7 Days to Die. Yeah, this was my very first castle that I decided to build. I was in the snow biome, and back then the snow biome is basically always misty like this, and it was kind of annoying. And I found this nice place, and I set up a nice farm, and this is what it looked like. I know it's yeah, I really tried my best. I actually used the rounded blocks on the top there. But you can see that, yeah, well, there's my lovely castle. It's my very first one, guys. Come on, don't judge me so much. And then there's a picture from the distance as well. It looked nice in the mist, I must admit. And that was the gatehouse. Oh, I've come a long way. I've come a long way. And another thing I wanted to show you guys, I did not build this, so I don't take credit for this. This was on the server I used to play. Someone built a pyramid in Alpha 11.4. And I was like, this was the first big structure that I found in this game. And I was like, what? That was freaking awesome. He did such a good job. And that's what it looked like in the distance. It looked like an actual pyramid. And that's what the desert looked like. In fact, if I remember correctly, Alpha 16 desert looked like that as well. Interesting. You know what? Actually, look at the desert here for a second, guys. There's all these stick things. I've just noticed now that those things are no longer in the desert. They actually gotten smaller, if I remember now. Yeah. And I think this was the... Yeah, guys. This was the plains biome in 7 Days to Die, because they had another biome called the plains biome. And that was that. And it used to go misty like that as well. Yeah, I remember this plains biome. It was one of my favorite to go and build in, but there was basically nothing there to actually do anything. You'll have to plant your own trees and whatnot. And even before my YouTube took off, guys, I had a popular server. Yes! Reach Gaming, if you guys didn't know, was actually a South African-based community. And we hosted servers for people. We were very popular back then, but yeah, we kind of died off when I started YouTube. But yeah, there was our server. We had a full server. This was Alpha 11 point, I think 3 or 4. I can't see. I think it's 4. But yeah, there was a full server, and I was like, that was so cool. Like 20 people in Alpha 11 was a pretty crazy thing, because the game could only support 8 players, by the way, back then. Of course, I couldn't show you pictures without some zombie action, right? Yeah. This was one of my bases I made when they first introduced the iron blocks. I was, you know, really wanted to try the iron blocks, and I wanted to make a base out of iron blocks. So there you can see on the right, I used some iron blocks, and I made a pit for the zombies to fall into. And back in these times, guys, there was something called the gore block. So every time a zombie died, it would leave a gore block, making it easier for zombies to climb. You'll see it in a second. But there's some zombies, and I was staying in the forest biome. But let me just go see if I find some gore blocks. Yeah. So this is the gore block that I was talking about. There you go. So when they die, they leave this ugly block thing. And every horde night, you would have to go and clean up the gore block from your base spikes or wherever it was. I liked the gore blocks. A lot of people did not like them, so that's why they're probably taking it out. I was like the only person who actually liked the gore blocks, because it actually helped the zombies in many ways. Because every time a zombie would die, it would make a path for the zombies to actually get up towards you. But yeah, I can see why people didn't like them. So it's fine, whatever. I do miss them because it helped the zombies. But anyway, it did look a bit weird as well. So yeah, there you go. Here's another picture of gore blocks, guys. They're everywhere. They would leave these things, and then they turn into gore blocks after that. And then there's another one that I wanted to show you. This is what happens when they die on top of your spike. They would just leave all this gore block. Oh my gosh, I remember that. Oh, good times. Good times. I love these alphas, guys. I'm so glad I took pictures as well. It's some sunset or sunrise. Let's see quickly. I think it's a sunrise. And this was another picture. It's one of my favorite pictures, actually, because it just looks so good. Skull blocks everywhere. There were lots of zombies in towns. Back then, they used to have a lot of roaming zombies in the towns. I don't know what's actually happened to that, because the future 7 Days to Die, there's no more roaming zombies as much as there were back then. I guess that's mainly because there's lots more zombies inside than there are now on the outside. Back then in Alpha 11.4, the inside, there were no such thing as called sleepers. So you would go in a POI and there would basically be no zombies in there. So that's probably why that kind of made up for all the zombies on the outside. But there's gold blocks. So there's a funny story about this one specific house. I had a friend named Brian, some of you guys might know him. And I love to troll him, and he hates it, guys. Honestly, I shouldn't have done it so bad, but I did. He was a British guy, and as you know, British people can get quite moody, and I used to use that to my advantage. He was a good friend of mine, guys. I do miss him. He's around still, but I don't actually talk to him as much. He had a base over there, okay. And I used to cut all his trees down, okay. And I'm a little bit of a troll, I'm sorry. And I used to throw rocks at his windows and shoot his windows out. And he used to get so angry because he had to go replace the windows every single time. And I used to just keep doing it. And funny enough, he just kept replacing the blocks. You know, I would break the window and he would just go and fix the window. It's just like, I'm still doing it. Why don't you just make it play? No, he was a good friend of mine, guys. I do miss those days a lot. So here's a picture of the old spikes in 7 Days to Die. They actually had these little things that would go in the ground, and they looked like little pokey stick things. I actually really like these spikes. I think they were the closest thing to the realistic thing in real life. This is what it would look like if you had to put spikes in real life. So I'm not too sure why they took them out. I guess it looked a bit strange when you try to put them, I don't know, on a floating block or something. But it was so cool. What I used to do is I used to put these things vertical on a wall, and it used to look like you had a whole lot of spikes coming out your wall. I might have a picture somewhere, but it really looked cool on a wall when you put these on there. But I had these spikes just scattered everywhere, mainly because of Brian. He used to walk around, he used to walk into the spikes. So this is Brian in his lovely suit. This was his base, and you can see... Oh, you can see eventually he patched out his windows, guys. Check it that. He's patched out his... Oh my gosh, I remember that now. He then, after me breaking his windows too much, he actually boarded them up, which is quite funny. But yeah, that was a glitch in the armor. Obviously, you know, Fun Pimps have always had issues with glitches and things, so eventually there was a problem with the armor at some point. But yeah, that's what you looked like. My attempt, this I believe was my second castle in the 7 Days to Die. And it was coming along nicely. You should have seen the inside. Sadly, I didn't take any pictures of the inside, but the inside actually was really cool as well. I had like a little road going in the middle with houses on the right and left. But yeah, it's amazing how far we've come. It actually looks pretty good. It looks a bit like Minecraft, actually. So, Alpha 13. Now, the random generation in Alpha 13 was pretty crazy. It used to do big heals like this. And honestly, I liked it. I loved it. I think Alpha 13 was one of my favorite random gen moments because, yeah, it wasn't realistic, it was far from it, but it created so many opportunities to build a base on the side of a mountain, and you have to climb these big mountains just to get somewhere. And there was no view distance in that alpha, so you couldn't see where you were going, so you could fall off a mountain at any time. It was very fun, and it was challenging, and you'd try and fight a horde on the mountain was challenging. But yeah, it was crazy. You had so many big mountains and ravines and whatnot. It's changed a lot since then. So there is my collection of stone axes. Yes, in Alpha 13.3. I think it was 13 as well. In order for you to get your skill up when you craft the little axes, you have to craft axes to get your skill up. So every time you craft an axe, your skill will go up by 1, by 2, by 3, by 1, by 1, by 2. And what I used to do is I used to just get a whole lot of stones and grass, and I used to just keep making a bunch of stone axes to level up my my skill, and that would work pretty much for everything that revolves around an axe. So I used to just sit in a little hut and make a lot of these things just to get some extra better tools. I'm so glad they got rid of that. It was too easy. So there's a lovely picture of a horde that came in of my base, and that was the iron block they first introduced into the game. I think it was 14.13. I don't know when they introduced this iron block, but I did love it a lot at the time. But yeah, there's the zombies and the spikes, and it's just a big mess, to be honest. The gore blocks, I do believe the gore blocks came after these things. So once these things were sitting here for a while, it'll turn into a gore block. I think it caused lag to the servers why they took it off. So around this time, guys, is when I started doing YouTube. In fact, I did a video on this specific base long ago. It should still be on YouTube. It was a terrible video, guys. You don't even want to go watch it because it was terrible, okay? I sucked. I sounded bad. My microphone was bad. I had a stupid story. It was just bad. Remember, guys, RJ was not around during these times. I only met RJ, 5 years ago. So I did not know RJ here. So this was all my time spent by myself. RJ came around Alpha 16, the end of Alpha 16. So that's when RJ came around. But that was one of my bases that I was making. Seems like those crazy mountains actually stuck around until Alpha 15. Look at that. That's massive. But that's what made it fun, guys. You could climb up there and you could build a base on the top. You can jump down. Yeah, I miss those things. It was quite fun to build on them. I still remember when I shot the zombie. As I shot him, he went and landed and he sat on the chair. This was Alpha 16, guys. This is when RJ started to show up. In fact, RJ started to show up around this base here. While I was building this base, I met RJ. Okay, I met her and I showed her the game. This is what I was building. I stayed with someone else named Wilshie in this base. And I've got a video on this base as well if you want to go take a look at it. But once again, it's bad. I don't think you want to look at that. But as you can see, I've planted a bunch of trees. Tree bamboo. You know what? That wasn't actually me. That was Wilshie. I remember now. Yeah, she planted those trees. And I was moaning about it because we played on a PvP server. And when you plant trees in a desert biome, this was a plains biome, everyone knows you're there because there's no trees in the plains biome. So, Wilshie, I don't know why you did that. Okay, you just wanted me to die, didn't you? Now, don't quote me on what I say, guys. It's been a very long time since we've played old alphas and stuff, and I don't really remember. But I do believe Alpha 16 was basically the time of electricity. So they came up with electric fencing, electric lights, and all that stuff. So this was us building something with electrical stuff. This was our crafting room, basically, that we were building. We actually built this in the Crackerbook building, HQ, by the way. And yeah, we kind of did it up really nicely. I didn't take any more pictures, I don't think. It was only the inside that I really liked. You can see that this was the kitchen area that we had, and we painted it up nicely. Oh, okay, so here you go. I got a picture on the outside. This was basically the Crackerbook. And oh yeah, I remember now. This was the first alpha that brought out the Crackerbook building and the pharmaceutical building. This was the first one. You can see there's our little base in the front, and we never really tested it properly. And yes, I am responsible for those trees on the left. I do apologize. It was my role, okay? We were a forestry clan. We were making wood for people and selling it, and that's basically what we did. So I think Alpha 16 was by far the worst alpha when it came time to exploring biomes and exploring the random gen. I really hated it, guys. This is basically what it looked like. There was no view distance for trees or anything. You would just have to just walk and then go closer to see anything, so it really sucked. So this was me and RJ's first biggest build that we've ever made, I think it was. So yeah, here's some photos. It was built on an island on Random Gen Alpha 16. And it was one of the most impressive things we built. And we actually built this mountain in the front for the gatehouse. In fact, I think I have a picture somewhere. But there you can see I've got like, it's just... We never finished it just because we ran out of ideas. There was the master bedroom. Here was another bedroom we made on the side. And this was like the throne room with the nice walkways. And the forge room, which was one of my favorite. I really liked the forge room. The dining room. And then there was a kitchen on the side, which was also really good. Oh wow, I don't actually have any more photos. It's kind of sad. I do have a video on this if you want to go check it out as well. Just need to go through the playlist and find it. Oh, and if you're interested in seeing, this is what the menu looked like in Alpha 16.4 when you wanted to join a server or something. Basically, that's what it looked like. In fact, it was actually quite nice. I'm not gonna lie, it was nice. It wasn't bad at all. So I'm gonna skip a lot of photos here, guys, but you can go and slow down the video to take a look if you like. There's just not much to say, and a lot of it we've done videos on already. This was the first tree house I actually built in Alpha 16. If you didn't know, Alpha 16, it was safe enough to build tree houses. Zombies did not attack the trees, and I did a video on the specific tree house as well. All you gotta do is type in Reach Gaming Treehouse. This should come up on YouTube. And this was another treehouse I built. Basically, it was a whole lot of trees next to each other, which you can't do this anymore. And you would fight the zombies down below there. And right at the top, I would have all these connecting blocks on top of the trees. And right at the end, I actually built... Let's see... wow, I don't really have many pictures, do I? You can see that I built this on top of the trees. So I did a video on this as well. Let's go check it out, guys. This was me and RJ's second biggest build that we did. This was... I can't remember the name, but it was a castle on the mountain. And it came out really nice, as you guys can see. Take a look at that. It was more like a temple on the mountain, and there's all the interior. Yeah, guys, you can just slow down the video if you want to take a look at everything. I'll be honest though, guys, Alpha 16 got very boring at the end. I wasn't enjoying the... Oh, what was that? Uh-oh, I did not do that, nothing happened. Yeah, Alpha 16 got very boring at the end, just simply because I think Alpha 16 was the longest running alpha out. So yeah, it got very stale. And I actually did a video on this as well. I wanted to do an update video on this as well, so I might just do it again. We'll see what happens. But basically, I did a zombie vs animals, and it didn't work out too well. But they have changed that since then in Alpha 16. So I think it changed it in Alpha 17 or 18 or something, where the animals actually attack the zombies now, and the zombies vice versa. And then Alpha 17 came out, and then that was, I think, one of my favorite alphas. It was really buggy. It was really broken. It didn't work very well, but it felt good because we had something new, and we saw so many new POIs to go and explore, and I really enjoyed that alpha, even though with all the glitches and bugs. It was fun. And I actually started a series called Living in Small Places, and this was one of the first episode 1 of the series, but I only ever made one episode, so I couldn't come up with anything else, but Living in Small Places was the name of the series. I still remember the biggest threat in Alpha 17, guys, was floating POIs. They were a nuisance. They were everywhere in Random Gen, and I hated it so much. I think that was the only thing I did not like about Alpha 17. It took them a very long time to fix, by the way. Oh man, look at that water. This was Alpha 17. That's nice looking water. I like that. It doesn't look like that anymore, does it? I'm not too sure. It's kind of glitchy. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And this was the modern house build we made. I think this was the only modern house build that we've ever made. We actually made a video on that as well if you want to go take a look at that. In fact, I would like to try and rebuild that. It looked actually pretty cool. Wow, didn't even realize. And here we are today, guys. Now there are more, it just did not save to my Steam on the website, but basically that's all I really wanted to show you. You guys know the rest. I wanted to actually talk through every single picture here, but you know what, there was so much I would have been talking forever, so I just kind of skipped a little bit of it. And I just wanted to show you the really early pictures that I took. And I'm so happy that I took them, and they're going to be there forever, which is great. Which is so nice. Oh yeah, by the way, this is something that was a really cool project, was made by, oh my gosh, I forgot the guy's name. But he made a whole city with a bridge and everything. This was the bridge that he made. His name was Slan, yes, and he made this, but it was really buggy, you know, it was very glitchy and stuff. In fact, that bridge actually held up without any problems. I'm talking about the bugs. There were lots of zombie lag and everything on that server. So there's a lot going around here, guys. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, thank you FunPimps for making such good experiences on this game. I couldn't ask for a better game, and I've had so much fun, so I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you guys in the next video. Like and subscribe.